All right, the final bit of chapter 14, a very long chapter of the House of Mrth, and wow, one that was packed full of stuff. So in this final section, we finally do come to that moment where Grty, we find Grty in her darkest despair, knowing that she has brought Selden and Lily Bart together, and that Lily, and she's ironically she's the one who's kind of pled for Lily, made Selden kind of believe what she saw in him, and kind of come to a point where she's realized exactly how selfish and how vapid and empty Lily is, and that is who Selden wants. And that's when she arrives, and you think, oh God, we've built up this really great, good character, and this Lily's come to her at her lowest when she needs help. And you know, definitely a novelist might be excused of making Gertie treat her shittily, but she doesn't. She actually does immediately go into caregiver mode, into helping mode. Like a lot of the kind of the fallen women that she has worked with. I'd say fallen, abused, um, women in trouble, alone women. Like this is another one, and she treats her with the same sort of compassion, even at the same time. Just like her first initial reaction to Lily is just revulsion, and there's kind of a terrible moment when she realizes that that to look on that prone loveliness, because Lily's kind of just thrust herself into her lap to kind of unburden herself, to to um where's it again, to look on that prone loveliness was to see in it a natural force, to recognize that love and power belonged to such as Lily, as renunciation and service are the lot of those they despoil. But if Selden's infatuation seemed a fatal necessity, the effect that his name produced shook Gertie's steadfastness with a last pang. Men pass through such superhuman loves and outlive them. They are the probation subduing the heart to human joys, which I'm going to have to get my head around. How gladly Gertie would have welcomed the ministry of healing, how willingly have soothed the sufferer back to tolerance of life. But Lily's self-betrayal took this last hope from her. The mortal maid on the shore is helpless against the siren who loves her prey. Such victims are floated back dead from their adventure. It's like, and at this kind of crucial thing, she's like, "Oh God, I've fallen. I basically want money. I've sunk lower than the lowest. I've taken what they want. What I've taken what they take, and not paid as they pay." And asks him like, "Oh Gertie, you know him. Could speak for him? If I told him everything, would he loathe me, or would he pity me and understand me and save me from loathing myself?" And Gertie is so tempted. This is Gertie's moment of temptation. It's like, what prevented her from saying he is like other men? Basically, yeah, he's gonna scorn you. Um, but to do so would have been like blaspheming her love. She could not put him before herself in any light but the noblest. She must trust him to the height of her own passion. She loves him so much, she thinks of him so much, she can't betray him in this moment. "Yes, I know him. He will help you," she said, and in a moment Lily's passion was weeping itself out against her breast. And it's like through all this, Lily in her misery, it's in her misery, but also in her general self-centeredness, does not consider Gertie at all in any of this. She's like, "You can't understand how miserable I am. You can't understand what it's like to be alone in the night, harried by furies," which Gertie scoffs at in that moment, because she's just been doing that. Um, but then they find themselves on the beds together, and Gertie has kept herself away because usually it's to restrain herself, but at this point she just can't fucking. She just doesn't even want to be anywhere near Lily. Um, it was torture. It was torture to listen to her breathing and feel the street stir with it. And you know, even the stains of her grief became as raindrops do the beaten roads. Um, And in that moment, Lily flings out her hand, groping for friends, and held it fast. "Hold me, Gertie, hold me, or I shall think of things," she moaned. And Gertie silently slipped an arm under her, pillowing her head in its hollow as a mother makes a nest for a tossing child. It's like she's the woman who should fucking hate Lily the most, and she cradles her like a child, basically. And Lily lay still, and her breathing grew low and regular. Her her hand still clung to Gertie's as if to ward off evil dreams, but the hold of her fingers relaxed. Her head sank deeper into its shelter, and Gertie felt that she slept. And it's like fuck. It's like Gertie doesn't get to sleep. Gertie doesn't get to sleep. Oh, oh, that is so good. That is so good. That is so good. Gertie, Gertie Farish. My God, I love this character. All right. Yes, that is me talking about, fusing about chapter 14. Now I'm going to go have dinner.